You're saying Uber, all this. There was one Uber in Canterbury.
I'm sorry.
One driver.
What, just one bloke?
One driver. Every time I took an Uber, I was with this guy.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a Londoner thing. I think a lot of Londoners go to quiet town and they're like, what do you mean the shop closes at 10? This is...
It was just... I think...
Some places felt like being in some summer camp. And there's like all these people that are like the same age as me and it's sick, but it's I want to go home now. When's home time? But then like I had to just sort of tell myself like this is my home for now.
For me, loneliness is terrifying.
It's a horrible feeling.
Being alone is my biggest fear. So like I understand how tough it can get.
It is difficult, moving away from home, like you said, like being away from your support system, but just know that, it's not just you that's going through that. There's probably the person next door to you probably going through the same thing.
Welcome to EduChats, where we put the hottest topics within education first. We are a subsidiary of EduFirst, a non-profit charity that strives to ensure that children are given the best and rights to education. I'm Rebecca-Lyn, and I'm here today with Dawit and Luqmaan. And today we'll be discussing our uni experiences, in particular our moving out experiences. If you're listening with us today on a podcast platform, be sure to give us 5 stars. And if you're listening or watching today on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. So hi guys, how are you today?
Good.
Luqmaan?
Very good.
Okay.
It's a really hot day. It's a really hot day today.
Mad today.
Right?
I'm like half alive.
So today we're going to do something a bit different. So we've talked about exams, we've talked about kind of apprenticeships and versus university. So today we're going to kind of get a bit more into that university experience, particularly how you guys found moving out to uni, like moving away from home for the first time and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Same thing, really.
Did you guys live in the same place for the whole 3 years? 4 years, 3 years?
Well, that same account?
Yeah.
My uni journey was...
Yeah, his one is all over the place. But for me, nah.
Did you change every year?
Yeah. I had to. I feel like you just got to change your environment sometimes. Like, I'll be in the same spot. Well, did you?
So first year I lived in one place, and then second and third year I lived in another place.
Can you please tell the viewers where you stayed at for first year?
So for first year,
because that place is iconic. Like,
so I went to Coventry University and I stayed at Raglan House in my first year. Stop laughing. So I stayed. Stop laughing. Stop. So first year I stayed at Raglan House. I stayed in Block A, so I was safe from all the madness, but I was still kind of aware of it. Do you know what I mean? And then for second and third year, I had a studio flat in Code, which is like on campus, like kind of on the main street. It's on one of the main streets. And I found that was probably the best thing for myself because I have this thing about sharing kitchens and sharing bathrooms. Bathrooms are one of either you're going to be the most disgusting or the most hygienic, and if it's not up to standard, I'm not staying there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that was something for me. So I had my own little kitchenette and bathroom to myself, and that.
So is it like a
studio? Like a proper studio flat. So I had that for 2 years, and it was great because the gym was literally downstairs, and then like on the ground floor we had a co-op. Yeah. So everything if I didn't want to leave, I didn't have to. Do you know what I mean? So it was literally everything was there.
I bet it was expensive though.
Yeah, $7,000.
7.
Whoa. Yeah, $7,000. $7,000.
Whoa.
Yeah, but if you guys are diligent, we're gonna get to that. But if you guys are diligent, I feel like if people are diligent with their money, you'll be fine. You'll be just fine. And I paid it in quarterly installments. So every time I got student finance, I paid it off immediately. So that was the first thing I did. And then I was like, okay, let me sit down and okay, this is how much I'll spend on groceries. This is how much I'll do. But what about you guys? So Dawit, you didn't stay the same place. You changed every year.
Yeah, I changed up. So first year I stayed in this place called William Morris Halls. If you know, you know.
Right. So which uni did you go to?
Loughborough. Right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I forgot to say I went Loughborough. William Morris Halls. Yeah, super nice. I got the cheapest one. I think so basically, long story short, the day was meant to book our accommodations. I think I woke up late and it was just one of those first come first serve things. Right. So I wanted an ensuite, didn't work out. So ended up just getting Like it was like shared toilets.
Oh my God,
shared
no.
kitchen. It's like with loads of guys as well.
No,
like,
no. I remember this being a reality for me at uni. Like when I was, on like results day,
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
sitting there like, okay, I'm gonna find somewhere. Like first of all, Coventry was my backup choice.
Okay.
So I wasn't like into. Do you know what I mean? I
Right,
wasn't into
yeah,
it.
yeah,
I wasn't
yeah.
like. No, I wasn't ecstatic, but I was just like,
Just
that's,
like,
it's unconditional. I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
take
I'm
it,
there,
right?
yeah.
But it was a thing where I was like, oh, I didn't really do a lot of research on Coventry. So when I was sitting there going through the accommodations, thank God I didn't end up in like one of the bait ones, but I was literally sitting there like, okay,
Raglan's bit. No.
now. Do you know what I mean? Now
Okay.
it is.
After you guys got
because
it
of you people.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
sorry. Keep yourself. But like when I was looking, I distinctively remember telling my mum, if I don't get my own toilet, I'm not going this year. We'll go again next year. Like it was such a big thing. Literally such a big thing. So I can't. How was that? How was sharing?
I was gonna say, please, like, I'm gonna look at the camera when I say this. Please, like, don't let that be a deterrent for you, because honestly, I thought, like, I messed up. Like, I'm sharing a toilet with 6 other guys, kitchen, and it's just like, I just thought, you know what, like, I messed up, I screwed up. I get there, and like the experience itself actually wasn't that bad.
Okay.
And I feel like a lot of people like hold that to a high value, if that makes sense. Like that's like a something that, like you
It's
said,
do or
like
die,
you just
right?
won't go
That's
if you
important.
had to do that.
But I feel like, and I don't know, guys critique me, but
Go on.
I feel like my kitchen, I'm someone who I love to eat. Like love to eat. I love to cook and I love to eat.
Yeah.
So for me, I like to have my own space. And if someone's come into the kitchen, and used all my ingredients, I'm gonna be stressed. If someone's come in and the kitchen is an absolute tip when I'm coming to cook, like
That
there's
happens.
dishes up
That
to the
happens,
ceiling,
yeah.
I'm gonna be pissed off. Like there was another time I remember going to another accommodation. There were I'm talking like 6 bin bags in the kitchen. People just refused to take them downstairs. I remember one guy going in and saying, I've had enough of this. And he was breaking his flatmates' plates. He was like, if you guys don't clean up, we're going to have a problem. Like, it was such a big, like, this is a big thing for people. Imagine coming from your house where you know your mom, your dad, your parent, your carer, whatever. You guys are very clean in your house and you're going, and now you have someone vomiting in the sink and not cleaning it up, bro. That's disgusting.
That should happen. Not in the sink,
In
in the
kitchen?
toilet, but you just didn't clean it up after.
That's disgusting.
Come on, man.
I can't
You
do
can
that.
literally put the flashlight.
No, 'cause I will be banging on your door at 4 a.m, clean this up. This is disgusting. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get it. Luqmaan, what about you?
So me going to university, first and foremost, I went to Kent for first year. So it wasn't, I mean, I'm not a massive fan personally.
Right.
But I mean, I went through clearing to go to Kent, where I
Okay.
was just like, I don't know if I'm going, I don't know which uni to go. And then actually our cameraman, Justin, behind the camera, was like, do you want to go Kent? I said, yeah, sure.
Right.
And so I went Kent. So for Kent, obviously, I moved out to Canterbury,
Right.
really quiet town.
Mm.
I'm not a fan of quiet towns.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a Londoner thing. I think a lot of Londoners go to quiet towns and they're like, what do you mean the shop closes at 10? This is...
It was just, I mean,
some places.
it was like, to go to like Asda or like Lidl was a bop.
Yeah, of course.
It was
Uber.
so
You have to
far.
take an Uber. You have to
Like-
take Uber. No, what was it? It was Ola. You have to take Ola cabs, first of all, because Ola cabs in Coventry
Yeah.
are £3.
Oh, sir.
Yeah, so let's say I'm going from one accommodation
Yeah.
to like someone's house. £3.
£3.
£3.
Just, you're saying Uber, all this. There was one Uber in Canterbury.
I'm sorry.
One driver.
What, just one bloke?
One driver. Every time I took an Uber, I was with this guy.
Wait, sorry?
No word of a lie. And like you call it, and it like you see how on Uber you can see the other drivers around the area.
Is this the
It's
one?
the same
It's the
guy.
same guy.
Sometimes you have to wait like
Wow.
45 minutes. It
Whoa.
comes and it's the same guy.
He was making money though. Like,
Yes, he
he's
must have
the
been
only
cooking.
one.
He was eating well.
Yeah, but then there was a co-op near us, and that was
Right.
the shop I'd go to. I mean, I'm not, as
I'm
people
not a
say,
co-op.
I'm not a cook first and
Okay,
foremost.
right,
So I'd go co-op, get a pizza, come home, cook the pizza, be
right,
fine.
okay,
So the Kent experience was up and down a little bit.
okay.
We'll get into that a bit more after. But then after that, second year, I said I've had enough of Kent. No offense to Kent, but I've had enough of Kent.
Boo.
And I went off to, I transferred straight into second year at Queen Mary.
Right, okay.
Queen Mary's different because it's London University.
Right.
I had an accommodation. I didn't really stay there because it was COVID times. Didn't get a chance really to stay there at all. I didn't need to stay there.
You're a Londoner, so you can literally
So I just went from home. But I had an accommodation for second year. So that year I don't really count it as moving out. It was more that room was just my office. If I went into uni, I'd sit in that room.
Did you kind of get to know any of your
Queen Mary?
Yeah. No one.
Nah.
Okay.
I probably would have, but it was COVID, yeah.
And everyone's a bit like, stay away from me, I'm going to die.
Yeah, and we hardly went in. We went in for the beginning part only. Like, for the first few weeks, they were like coming to seminars only, not even lectures.
Right.
And then after that,
everything
we
just
got
shut
told,
down.
don't go out. And I'd go to my accommodation because it's my accommodation, but that's it. And because there's Andy's around the corner, which is the best burger spot in the country.
Is it really? Because I feel this is like a 64th time
best
hearing you guys talk about
burger
this. Is it
spot
really?
If you know,
in the country.
It's one of those ones.
But,
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And then third year,
Yeah.
this is the second and final part of the time I moved out.
Mm-hmm.
The first part of third year, I spent in Milan,
Right.
Italy.
I actually remember that.
Studying abroad. So I lived in Milan on and off, mostly on from September till December. So that was a whole new experience.
And how did you find that? Because I actually wanted to study abroad. I wanted to go to the US. I have family out there. I wanted to go up there. But COVID, of course. And when I sat down and thought about it, it wasn't really cost effective to do that at the time. Do you know what I mean?
What were you thinking?
I was thinking either New York or Florida or Philadelphia, because I have family over there. Or North Carolina, but North Carolina...
just the East, basically.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Yeah. And that expensive as well.
Expensive.
So, right?
But to be fair, you do get the Turing grant when you do study abroad. But the Turing grant it's a lie. I'm telling you, it's a lie. Like because they'll give you not this the Turing grant. I love the Turing grant, but they'll give you a one stipend at the beginning, like right at the beginning before you go. No, they don't even give you it right at the beginning. Right at the beginning, you got student finance.
Right.
And then after that, you've got to wait, and then like several months in, they give you like part of it. Like I think they give you 80% of the grant. 80%.
7 months in.
Yeah, when did I get 80%? I think I got it October. No, it was like a good month in. After I spent a month there, they give you an 80% of the grant, and then after that, they give you the other 20%. Like me, I just got I got a receipt yesterday saying that I'm going to get the 20% like in the next week.
You're not there.
You're not there anymore.
I've graduated.
Right. So that's just
but
I see what you're saying.
But I mean, for a year abroad, you get a lot more in the Turing grant. You get a lot more money. But I wanted to go to America as well. But for America, you had to spend a whole year abroad, and that would have meant I would have graduated next year rather than this year.
Right.
So I just said I'll do.
See, that's one of my reasons as well. I was like, I don't want to prolong my.
Yeah.
I can just go to the US if I want to after, if I really wanted to. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I definitely hear that. Okay, I think that's very. I feel like
it's different.
Yeah, really varied
yeah.
experiences. So
I was gonna say, like, how much did you guys spend in your first? I feel like first year, because if I could like talk to myself, right before moving to uni, telling myself, you know, it's not that bad, you know, sharing a toilet or whatever, like. But even the fact that because of that, I spent less on the accommodation. The room was still nice, so it worked out. But I spent, I think it was 4K, 4.5 for the year. But I was just wondering that how much that you guys spent, because
as in accommodation wise,
would you say
like
it was worth it?
Accommodation wise or utilities? Which one?
Accommodation and then utilities, because I feel like that's another thing.
Accommodation wise, first year I think it was 5,000 and something.
Was it worth it though?
Yeah.
I remember your first year of com though.
People hated on my first year of com.
It looked like a prison cell.
Oh, see, Coventry has one of those. It's called Singer Hall, and it looks like a prison. So you have Liberty. No, is it Liberty or is it Singer Hall? Singer Hall. That looks like Liberty Point and Singer Hall. The two of them, they look like prison cells.
Prison cells,
like prison.
I don't think mine looked like a prison. I think mine looked okay. But what hurt for me is that, like, we were in Purchase Court, and like every accommodation next to ours was better than ours.
Ooh.
I think that's why it probably looked just as bad.
But it's like Parkwood. So Parkwood's like an area in like Canterbury, right next to the university, where it's all of our accommodations, and some of the people in the halls on the main campus.
Right.
But most people from like lower income households are in Parkwood.
Right.
And like, so you have all these new houses,
Right.
and then just a little part of Purchase Court in the corner where the houses look about 15 years older than everyone
Insert
else.
video here. Like, I've got a video of what it looked like. Like,
Really bad.
you know what? I'll let the people decide because yeah.
Okay.
Like,
Do you think that kind of do you think it's noticeable? Like that whole thing you said, like low income household. Do you think that's like it's a noticeable difference between those who may not be and those who are?
I think 50% of the time, yes, and the other 50% it was just people who were late to apply. So there were some people that I was friends with that weren't lower income households. That families were pretty well off.
Okay.
And yeah, but they were in the court because they applied for accommodation really late.
Okay.
But everyone else.
Okay. I feel like that's an interesting. I feel that's a really interesting point. I don't really think I've heard a lot of people talk about that. Like when you're going to uni and you're applying for SFE, whatever. Like I know a lot of people who were like, yeah, but SFE wasn't enough. Like me personally, I feel like my SFE was more like it was perfect, like a perfect amount. And I was able to do everything I needed to do. Going back to your question, my accommodation first year was 6.2.
Is it generally expensive in
I feel like Coventry's a little bit more expensive. I feel like it is. Raglan House now, I think it was £99 a week. Yeah.
That's good.
So it was great. Like it was really, really great. And that was for if you staying on again. Like if you were, I think it was 115 the first time, 115, 120, wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
And then it was £99 to stay on again. But I was like, no, I need to, I got things to do. I want to move.
Yeah.
So I feel like that first move out was the most difficult. I feel like it was the most difficult.
What do you mean? Like
in the sense that I'm quite close with my family.
Yeah.
So that moving out was, especially because my mom, my dad, my two sisters, like, and my grandma, like, all came. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm the eldest child as well. So I'm the first child of my family to go to, obviously my extended family, everyone's gone to uni, but of my immediate family to go to uni. So they were really excited. But then after they kind of like dropped me off, my mum helped me clean the bathroom, helped me do everything, clean up and get settled. You know, when everyone's gone back in the car and you're saying bye, obviously, they prayed over the room in true, black culture fashion,
Chelsea.
Pray over the room, all those nice things, you know what I mean? And then leave. It was when they were walking to the car and I was like, oh my God, I'm myself.
Yeah, it hits you.
And then, when I'm watching them drive away and leave me, like, I feel abandoned. Like, watching them, like, okay, wow, I'm by myself. Go up to my room, sitting on the bed. I was like,
now what?
Right? Because what do I do now?
Yeah,
like, what am I actually meant to do?
I feel like a lot of people go through that, and it's like people like kind of get like gassed and like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna step out here. All of that. Yeah, and you will.
I'm finally free, but you feel like when but the second people are gone, you're just like,
okay.
Now what?
What do I do? What do I do?
Yeah, but I think that's when you just sort of like grow up very quickly. Or I mean, not everyone, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I don't know. I feel like after that experience, I asked my sisters not to come back to do like a drop off again. So when I moved into Code the second year, my studio flat, I asked them not to come. So it was just me, my mum, my dad that went. Because I just felt like it was a lot. Like everyone just I felt really like left. Like they just said, okay, bye now, pushed me out the car, like left me. But I feel like it was. Yeah, it wasn't. Obviously, it wasn't like that. But it was like,
I was gonna say that.
That's just how I felt. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm really close with them. So I felt like it was just like, oh, you guys are just leaving me. Do you know what I mean? But I felt like it got easier, and the frequent enough visits, like maybe once a month, every 3 weeks or so, like go for a weekend or something, and see them.
When was your how quick was it between moving in for the first time and then like going back home?
So I moved in, like we were checking this earlier. I moved in on the 13th of September, right? And I went back home because I had an appointment on the 27th of September. So it wasn't
2 weeks.
Exactly. It wasn't really that long. But then after that, I didn't go back until the end of October. So the gap.
Okay.
Yeah. So it wasn't too long, but it was long enough.
Did you go back often? No.
I was so homesick. Like, when I first moved in, I was like, oh my god.
I made a mistake.
Yeah, like it just felt like I can't explain it other than it felt like being in some summer camp and there's like all these people that are like the same age as me and it's sick, but it's I want to go home now. When's home time? But then like I had to just sort of tell myself like this is my home for now.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I think it was kind of similar to you. Like I had an appointment which I was so happy about. Like I think like within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but after that, I just told myself, I just forced myself to just stay there.
Stay.
Yeah, you just gotta learn. What about you? Did you go quite quickly or?
No, I went home quite a bit actually because
it's quite close though, isn't it?
Yeah, Kent and London. I mean, when I was in Kent, I went home quite a bit because, like I said before, I can't cook.
See, that is something that always amazes me. Like,
you gotta learn to cook.
What do you mean? Like, what is
I can make like lasagna.
That's not food. That's like one meal.
You can make lasagna.
No, wait. I've seen you make lasagna. I was actually the two of you. Don't you remember?
Oh yeah,
it wasn't him that made it.
No, but it was you. I watched. I was there.
I mean, I don't know how much I did actually. I'm not gonna lie, but
no,
someone cooked it. It definitely wasn't him.
It was me.
No, because we were.
No, wait.
It was.
You just put it in the oven.
It was me.
No, you put it in the oven, and
swear,
that was having to get the sheets, and you were
I swear, I made the, no, you made the sauce. You made the sauce.
Oh yeah.
Guys, I have to go back. I left Dawit making lasagna.
Oh yeah, I said Dawit started making lasagna.
Right, so. That to me is amazing. That like,
it's not like I don't go out of my way not to cook. I just
no, I get it, but you knew like for me that summer, so A-level summer. First of all, longest summer to have ever existed. Great. Actually, what do you guys think? Longest summer, A-levels or uni summers? Because I feel like uni summers are horrendously like it's so long. It's like 5 months of doing nothing.
I think A-level summer is longer, but because A-level summer, but before, like the reason I didn't learn to cook in A-level summer is because in my head, my first option, where I was going university-wise, they make food for you, like
okay,
like you have to go to the halls
to eat.
and eat. So I was like, I don't need to learn to cook at the moment.
Okay,
it's a life skill though.
It's a life. I can't lie to life skill.
But you know what it is? I can like.
Can you make an egg?
Yeah.
Okay. Can
you?
How?
My go-to egg is scrambled egg.
Love that. Do you add milk or no? Are you lactose intolerant?
I don't add milk.
Okay, so you're not doing it properly. Just
that's not right.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
What?
Adding milk.
What?
I don't know. I've never heard of that.
Wait, am I being bullied? wait. Did I just jam?
Yeah, a little bit.
No, like I'm talking like you crack the eggs, you add a dash of milk, scrap. Yeah, like I'm not stupid. Like this is making sense.
I mean, like
that's how you eat it.
So if you're listening on YouTube, can you please give us your best scrambled egg recipe? Like, please. Like,
no, if there's one thing I'll die on a hill for, I can make a mean English breakfast.
So like sausage, beans, like the whole
and with
thing.
Scrambled eggs as well. And my scrambled eggs are beautiful.
Scrambled eggs aren't really
that's
more of an American thing. Like scrambled eggs are American.
Well, I make a gentrified English breakfast.
You gotta remix it. No. By the way, in uni, I feel like first year was my most experimental when it comes to like
food.
Yeah,
defo.
Definitely. If I tell you some of the stuff I made, you'd vomit. So I'm just not gonna I'm just not even gonna put people through that.
See, my thing is, okay, so A-level summer, I was like to my mom, look, there are a few staple dishes. My mom is Guyanese, my dad is Nigerian. So I was like, give me a few things from both that I can do.
Yeah.
So stir fry was panned. Like stir fry was an essential food. Stir fry vegetables, stir fry noodles, everything. Like how you could stir fried rice, how you could do your stuff, do it, right? I think my mom taught me how to do jollof, red stew. Like she taught me the essentials, like chicken, different things, like how to know when the chicken's done. So when I now got to uni and like you're making friends and you're meeting people, I'm sure you don't experience this. Oh, what? So what, you're gonna cook for a man and that?
I mean,
what?
I didn't ask anyone to cook with me except from Justin.
Okay, well Justin can.
I didn't ask Justin. I didn't ask Justin to cook for me.
I'm sure Justin was like.
Justin would just be like, no. Justin would just like, do you want to taste of that? And I'd be like, yeah, cool.
Yeah, but
And he taught me how to make chili con carne as well. So
shout out Justin.
So actually, I can't remember how to make chili con carne.
Okay, boo. So you didn't really know anything.
No, but you know what though? Like once I learned how to like make certain dishes, you kind of realize that a lot of them, remix them because it's like it's quite similar. Like you just chop up onions, dash a bit of seasoning here, bit of this and
so
that.
when you're
No, but
seasoning,
it's not the same though.
no, but it is. You need to know
because
how to.
because I'll be cutting up the onions and Justin be like, "Yo, is this how you cut up onions?" I'm like, "I don't
Yeah,
know,
but
man.
You see,
I don't
okay, so hold
know."
on. So when you're cutting onions, it depends. So let's say, okay, we're now doing cooking show. So let's say you're doing, I don't know. Let's say you're doing, okay, pasta. Everyone likes pasta. Personally, I don't really. So pasta. Let's say you're making an Alfredo, right? A simple Alfredo. What is the seasonings that you're going to use? You're not going to use like red seasonings, chicken seasonings. You're going to use the more. Look,
When she said what seasoning you're using, my head just went straight to
I
paprika.
can't lie. I can't lie. My
Like,
head was lost. I was like, wait, what seasoning do I use
like
for that?
you're gonna use the more Italian herbs. You're gonna use
Salt and
more
pepper.
like thyme, salt, pepper, black pepper, white pepper, onion powder, garlic powder. You're gonna use
white pepper.
Look, please.
No, but
please.
you know what my thing is though, like there's actually YouTube. Like, do you not think like
See, yeah, like you don't have to like search recipes online if you want to try
But put it this
something.
way, it's quicker to buy a pizza and stick in the
look,
oven.
man,
come
you're
on,
just-
man.
this is
Come
what
on,
the
man.
21st century is producing. People who can't cook. Do you know what I
people
mean?
can't cook, man.
All the technical skills, but I can't cook. Like that's not great.
Yeah.
I think first year is the first year that I sat down and I was like, okay, meal prep was so important. That is something I didn't realize was going to be such an integral part of life, like meal prepping.
Yeah.
So like my Sundays were go to church, come home, prep for the week. So meal prepping, laundry, whatever like I need to do in my home now, that was how I spent that day. And I feel like that was not that I didn't have structure at home, but at home, I kind of left that stuff to my parents. Like my mom said, oh, can you help me with this? Yeah, of course I want to help. But now, if I don't do it, it doesn't get done. And that was something like I remember like what was it going to a motive or something first year. Where's that top actually? Oh gosh, in laundry. Who's gonna? I have to do this like, and you have to go and learn how to use circuit laundry. Worst laundry I've ever used in my whole life.
Crooks.
They will steal all your money. They will leave.
I still don't know
spots on
how
your
it
clothes.
works.
They will leave spots on your clothes. Don't overfill the machine for anyone that's going to any unis that use circuit or they've.
If your uni still uses circuit, they need to improve.
Yeah, you know. But yeah, like that was something that was just I didn't realize how big of a deal that was going to be, having to do everything myself. I think you kind of think about it. Yeah, I'm on my own. I live on my own now. But it's like,
there's a lot.
I have to do this by myself. Like, I have to make sure I eat 3 times a day.
And there's no one telling you to do this, by the way. Like,
right.
You got to hold yourself responsible for these sort of things. And it's just like, that in itself is a learning curve.
Right. Like, sleep schedule is now my responsibility. And if I say, yeah, I'm going to stay up till 3 a.m. and then I've got a lecture at 9 a.m., it's now my responsibility. You either go or you don't go. And if you don't go, you're wasting your time. Of course, you're going to miss some lectures, of course, and we all do it, but...
Yeah.
I didn't, Mum. Definitely didn't miss any lectures.
At all.
Didn't miss a single one. I was there
on
every
time.
Single lecture,
on time?
every single seminar.
Right. Yep.
Time.
Of
I
course.
promise, Mum.
You're the best. We're going to give you an award. Dawit, how did you find that whole... Like, what was the kind of best thing about, I guess, living on your own?
Just the freedom, really. Like, as much as it is that I have to hold myself accountable and responsible for like a lot of things, that also just kind of like gave me that freedom, just empowered me, really. Like, you just kind of like grow up quite quickly. I remember like my cousins went to uni before me and they're like a couple of years older than me, but we always kind of had like that same maturity level. And then they went to uni and came back, and literally within their first year, like, they were a totally different person. Obviously, I don't know if that was the same for me, but I definitely felt like a different person. I felt much more grown, like an adult, really. Like, I am definitely an adult now. Like, I'm doing adult, you know what I'm saying? Like, adult shit right now. So bleep that out, please.
Right.
But yeah, like, that, I think that really for me was like the best part.
Okay. Luqmaan, best part?
Best part? I think it would definitely be having my own calendar and knowing what I can do, like knowing, rather than when I'm at home, so obviously it's my parents' household. So first rules are my parents' rules and I have to follow that. There's no like leeway about that. But when I'm by myself, I have my own house rules. I know I'm going to do this at this time. I'll finish that at that time.
Yeah.
And everything comes as follows. And I enjoyed just being able to delegate chores to myself and to different parts of different stuff to myself, rather than where if I'm at home and I get told to do something, I have to do it there and then.
Yep.
You go laugh at your own pace.
Yeah, it's my own
Yeah.
pace, and I enjoyed having that ease in my calendar. What about you, Rebecca-Lyn? What is your favourite part?
I think my favorite part was just kind of discovering what it kind of means to be an individual. I feel like you don't really realize it when you're at home, but you're someone's child, you're someone's sibling.
You're an NPC at home.
You know what I mean? Like, of course, you're an individual. You have your likes and dislikes, but now when you're at uni, who are you as a person? Do you know what I mean? That was kind of one of my favorite things to sit down and discover, and like you said, make my own decisions, make my house a home. I think that, especially as a girl, like I feel like I don't speak for all girls, but I feel like it was one of the best things. Decorating my room, putting up the LED lights, making sure I had like 6 comforter pillows, making sure I had 4 pillows, like 4 proper pillows, and then I had 2 comforter pillows, and then I had 2 blankets and my Minnie Mouse sat on my bed. So whenever anyone came into my room, they were like, "Why do you have all this? Like, why do you have so much?"
See, when you say that, I agree with Dawit. My room was a prison cell. My room had nothing.
See, but I can't live like that. I have to live there for a year. I have to be comfortable. So that was one of my things. Like even when I moved to my studio apartment, and I had a plant, I had my wall planner, I had I had the strip lights, I had a couch, so I put like pillows on the couch. I had a rug. Like I probably made it my home, my space. And I think that was one of my, if not the individuality stuff, I think it was much like making my own home, like not having someone say, "Oh, well, I want the room to be like yellow, so you have to do it like this color." Or I want, you know what I mean? When you're at home, you talk to your parents. Yeah, I'm painting the room. Oh, what color? Like green. Why would you do that? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
because you can though. Like
exactly. So
yeah.
I think that was kind of my one of my favorite things.
I feel like the common denominator here is just like having that responsibility for yourself. I feel like just saying, "Look, I'm taking charge of my life here."
Yeah.
But like obviously, with that being said though, like I feel like there was people that I found at uni that were like the total opposite. Like they just never kind of reached that point where they just thought, "Okay, like I'm meant to be adulting right now. Like I'm meant to be like, you know what I'm saying?" Like, that kind of like switching on.
Definitely. I feel like there were a lot of people who were kind of just, I'm at uni, so let me ball out. Let me buy this.
You finish your SFE
and
within 2 weeks.
For the next 2 months is Indomie.
That's
and
real
Maggie
life.
For 2 months with egg. If they're lucky, if they have the money, if they have the money to stretch, egg as well. Do you know what I mean? Look, when you're looking like, because you feel what I'm saying, like.
I didn't splash money like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I had a lot of Indomie. If I can't cook.
No, but it's quick and easy though. Shout out Indomie as well. Like.
You know what? Indomie makes me sick.
What?
Really?
I'm not even joking. I think it's the seasoning packet that they use, but it actually makes me like throw up. Sorry, trigger warning. It makes me throw up. I've tried Indomie like 6
the seasoning.
I think
Which flavor though?
Every flavor. I think it's the actual seasoning packet that makes me ill. Like it makes me like I have it.
Really?
Every single time I can't. I love noodles, but I just can't eat Indomie brand. Like I don't know what it is.
I used to have packets on deck. I'd walk into my room and be like, look in the drawer and be like, "Oh, there's an Indomie packet."
Oh, I know people who had boxes
everywhere.
under their bed. And that was take it out.
That's the cheat code. You gotta have the boxes. You gotta at least have like 1 or 2 boxes. Like you gotta have that in the cart, man.
But please, please don't like drag me. But of course, love Indomie, love noodles. There's nothing wrong with eating. Eat like a uni student. Do you know what I mean? Like I remember someone told me like you have to eat pasta every day, and that horrified me. Of course not. Like you can make it fun if you're smart. I think one thing that I think all of us at EduChats would emphasize is please make sure before you go to uni, be financially clued up. Know how to save some money. Know how to allocate money for certain things, so that when push comes to shove, you have rainy day money. You have money for your groceries. You always have money for your groceries.
Money for motives as well.
Right, like you need to have money to turn up.
Enjoy it, you know what I'm saying?
How did you guys do that?
Did you budget like that in first
year? Yeah, in first year, it'd be £50 a week.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the budget for first year. And when I went to Italy, budget flew out the window.
Of course.
But I don't think that's my fault. I just think that everything just was going out the window in Italy. I was having to pay for stuff I didn't know I had to pay for.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're throwing on a residential permit that I have to pay £200 for out of nowhere. And it was just everything. And then like I missed out in Italy. It was weird because I went to, when I exchanged, I went to Bocconi University.
Right.
And Bocconi have they have their campus for international students.
Right.
Which is bottom of Italy, South Italy.
Right.
South Milan, sorry, not South Italy. South Milan, but it's just pretty much just outside Milan, really.
Right.
And yes, so to be on the waiting list for that, you had to pay a €600 deposit.
I'm sorry.
What deposit? You
Just to be on the waiting list.
In the waiting list, and that was in like April, I think. They told us to do that, and now in April, like before we went in September. In April, I didn't have that money.
Right.
And I was like, I haven't got that money. I can't go on the waiting list, and so I didn't. I just
had to live somewhere.
I just didn't, and then when I did end up getting the money, I looked and everything was gone. Yeah. And then I think I told you as well, Rebecca, where I just didn't have a place to. I was going to Milan, I just didn't have a place to live.
Arrived. So yeah, I'm going to stay at a hotel for a little bit. And see what
so I got to Milan. Right at the beginning, I was in a hotel, and then after that, I was in my apartment. And my apartment was still. How much did you say your thing was? Your Loughborough.
About 4.5.
4.5 a year.
Like that.
My accom was 900 a month.
Excuse me.
It was not a accom, it was just a flat.
Yeah.
The studio flat.
That's a lot of money for
and it's in Milan as well.
Yeah, true.
And the government need to switch on as well, because I spent a semester abroad in Milan and they gave me less student finance than I did spending time in Kent.
Right.
And I'm like, Kent is a significantly cheaper place to live than Milan, first and foremost.
Right.
I had to go to Milan as well. And it's just like the money isn't adding up. It's not making sense.
Do you feel like if they had perhaps a grant in place?
They do have a grant. Turing grant.
No, of course. But I mean like perhaps like a travel grant or something else. I know
they do have a travel, but the travel grant, it only goes up to like, they only give it to you if you spend, I think, upwards of £500 on travel. My travel was like 300 something. So
what, return as well?
Yeah.
I'm just being the person I am, I would have definitely looked for 501 as the minimum of return. Just so I wouldn't have had to pay for it from my own pocket. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it was just like they're supporting you, but not fully supporting you. No, it was like they're they're in a transition phase right now between the Erasmus and Turing.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So like, for example, I had an Erasmus grant to begin with, and then after that, you got switched from Erasmus to Turing.
Right.
So I had to give back the Erasmus grant to get the Turing grant.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And that really? So how did you?
But the
manage
Turing grant
that?
was more, so I had to give it back. So because I was like, I want more money, so I had to give it back. Then they paid me the Turing grant.
But that's
Yeah,
that's a lot, because if I don't have the money I've spent in hand now, then stress for me. Like,
it was stress, and I was in a new country, don't
yourself.
speak a word of Italian, and then my flat's in North Milan,
right?
Like on the way to Monza, Milan. Like not if like pretty much. I think there's like 3 stops left, and then you're outside of Milan,
Right.
in Brecotto.
So you're right.
The
The accent. I see it.
Jeez.
I was in Brecotto, and then like I was just in no man's land basically.
By yourself.
Yeah. I was just lucky that I had a Lidl next to me, so I knew how to shop.
I think that's something that people don't really talk about. And I think it's that kind of like the loneliness, because you're by yourself. Dawit, how did you find kind of like financially, how did you stabilize yourself financially for uni? How did you find that whole experience?
You know what? I think going into uni, like I kind of scared myself into forcing myself to just basically spend as little as possible. I think it worked out for like the first 2 weeks, and then like
Okay.
yeah, I just started going crazy after a little while. Like
Crazy like how? Like just spending or what?
I wasn't going like I weren't a little spending £200. Like I don't think you can, even if you wanted to be fair. But like
You'd be surprised.
a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Carry on.
No, like so I put it like this. Initially, my budget was something like £40 a week.
Okay.
Then that just lifted all the way up to like £90, £100 a week.
Okay.
And then that's when I was like going crazy. But like, if you ask me what I'm spending it on, I can't tell you.
Right.
That's what I mean.
That's the same thing I have.
That's the thing.
I don't know what I'm spending money on, but I'm spending money.
Seriously?
You gotta have discipline. Like, I feel like at that point, I won't have discipline. I'll just be like, alright, cool. Like, oh, you know, I feel a bit peckish. Let me go buy when there's food at home. I'm not saying don't enjoy it, but I feel like if I
enjoy in
moderation,
yeah.
like don't start going crazy like I did. Like, if I could speak to myself back then now, I'd say like just stick to like the plan, just stick to the script. Trust me, like you're not missing out on anything. Like spending that extra £20 on by going to Sainsbury's instead of Lidl. Like,
I promise you, please go to Lidl every time. Choose Lidl every time.
Or Aldi.
Even if you spend that extra
£1 shop,
literally, even if you spend that extra like I feel like before I went to uni, there was kind of this stigma about shopping at Aldi and Lidl.
The stigma.
There was back in the day. There was
What?
Not in East London.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I'm a Northwest, you know. What I mean?
Oh.
So there was a bit of a
It's
stigma.
making sense now.
So there was a bit of a stigma,
Yeah,
like,
different
oh, you know,
around
you don't really shop in those areas.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
now, when I got to uni, I was like, bro, what do you mean? Like, even when I got back home, I was like, Mum,
Best.
that's enough of Tesco. Get to Lidl and Aldi. Like, even now, I still like, guys, let's go to Lidl and Aldi.
Yeah.
But like, that's for me. When you're saying £200 shops, see, mine was a bit different. I didn't really plan to do like weekly budgets. Mine was more so, okay, I know for a fact that when I go to do my shopping, I'm doing a monthly shop. Like, I'm not just shopping for this week. So I'm going to go and spend
How
100.
though? I never got people like that.
Let me explain. So this is the guide to doing a monthly shop.
Good.
You go, you pick up as much meat. So I know for myself at the time I was also gymming. So I wasn't really buying snacks. I wasn't really. One thing I have to say, if you are going to uni, please invest in a gym. When the stress gets too much,
That's the
I
one.
promise you it helps.
For real.
When you feel tired, make sure you go. Yeah. When you feel anything, like you're in a new place, you need to be healthy. That's one thing I would definitely say.
Good way to structure your day as well. Like, if you know you're going
Right.
gym like 9 p.m, like you can kind of have that to look forward to.
I definitely used to go to the gym like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, like the craziest times. It works.
Makes
but
sense. Yeah.
going back to the Lidl and Aldi trips. So you go buy meat. One thing, if you're buying chicken, buy the big, the big like 12-pound cases. Yeah. So buy 2 of that.
What about the vegans though?
Tofu, do something like beans or something. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. What do you like vegans? You can do like a.
You can buy vegan meat.
There's vegan meat.
Oh,
yeah.
corn and stuff. You can buy corn.
I started doing that in uni actually.
I did as well. Yeah.
Corn is actually it's quite nice. It's
I
quite
bought a lot
nice.
of corn.
I'm not gonna lie.
It's quite nice. I wouldn't think about it to buy for myself like now.
Yeah.
But when I was at uni, that's something I realized as well. My diet really changed. Like, I am buying things that I want to eat now. So my diet kind of shifted, like less rice, less more potato based, like sweet potato especially was a staple thing for me.
Yeah, lame.
So I would buy like 2 cases of chicken. I would now go and buy 3 things of like fish. I would do salmon. I would do mackerel. I would do white fillets.
Wait, how big was your fridge?
That's the thing as well. I actually had my own studio. Studio flat. So I had a fridge and freezer. So I was putting like the big case of chicken and the fish in the freezer to like, so when I needed it, as of when, defrost, season, cook. Right?
Even first year.
Even in first year, I was doing like £60 shops, and I was making things fit. Like, I was buying things I know I would eat. So if I had vegetables, I'm cutting up as soon as I buy it, I'm cutting up my vegetables and cooking a meal or prepping them. So I know that I'm going to use this for this for that. Like onions, I would always have a bag of chopped onions.
You gotta have that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like
you gotta have that.
chopped onions, chopped garlic.
Oh, wait, chopped onions?
Like, I would chop them up and put them in like freezer bags, put them in the freezer, and when I need to cook, take them out, stir fry. It helps. It's quicker.
Okay, yeah.
So then I was not buying snacks. Like, I was not someone who would sit down at the time, because I was taking gym very seriously. I wasn't buying my chocolates, my biscuits and stuff. I was literally, okay, so I know that I would like to have something sweet. I'm going to make sure I have yogurt. So I would have my yogurt, I'd have my dairy. Not so much now, but I would have that kind of set up. So I'd have like, I don't know, a week's worth of yogurt. I would have juice. For me, I don't really drink a lot of juice, but I'd have 2 cartons of juice that would last me 2 weeks, because I don't drink juice, and it's for guests. Like, if guests come over, hey, would you like something to drink? I have this, because I don't, on my own, it would take me a week to finish 1 carton of juice, just because I don't.
Is it? Yeah. I used to finish juice in a day. I used to have those apple juice cartons and finish all in a day.
Yeah, but I just couldn't. I feel like now, as you get older, I move away from I move away from like the drinks, or I'd buy the multi packs.
Yeah.
That's something I did a lot in first year, buying like multi pack
Multi-pack.
drinks and like maybe drinking one a day.
And this was last year, month.
This was last week. So I bought like veg. So I buy like cucumber, potatoes, bell peppers, sweet potatoes, onion, garlic.
Yeah.
Those were kind of like my staple things. And then if I'm feeling a bit adventurous, bok choy and
Hey.
what's the other? What else would I buy? Leeks.
choy.
It's like it's
I don't really know.
it's like a how do you describe it? It's kind of like a leek. It's kind of like a leek. You guys know what a leek is? You don't know what a leek is?
No, I know what
The leek, the long one.
The leek is a long one. So the bok choy is kind of smaller. It's like this, like this. You can get mini bok choy, get big ones. But
Do you like leeks?
all right, they're
What does a
nothing.
leek taste like?
It's a bit.
So
It's
bad.
like an onion's offspring. Like it's a bit weird. Like it's a bit strange.
so
And
bad.
spring onions. You can add spring
I know what
onions to
spring onion
everything.
is.
Like so, those are kind of like my staple vegetables. So if you're making a stir fry, you can add different things in. And then I'd buy rice, but I would buy like sushi rice, but I bought it from another store, so that wasn't included. But then you have pasta. If you need to re-up on like, I don't drink what do you call it? Regular like English tea. I drink herbal tea a lot.
Oh, bougie.
So I would buy my little
Northwest London.
Yeah.
sorry. But I would buy my like peppermint tea, my berry tea, and these things are kind of would substitute. I think that's why I don't really like sweet things. I just kind of drink that a lot.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And those things, and then all of that. And if I really wanted snacks, yeah, okay, I'll pick up a multi-pack of crisps that I know I'd like. That sometimes come up to 80, sometimes come up to 70, sometimes come up to 50. It's just depending on
That's
what.
good though.
Yeah,
She was
it's great.
really
That's
like,
good.
that's like the type of shop my parents do. I just buy like oven pizzas. Like,
See, but I would do that as well because obviously second year now the co-op was downstairs. If I was feeling really lazy, dissertation time. Oh my god! If you see my bank statement, Uber Eats, co-op, Uber Eats, Uber Eats, Uber Eats, Uber Eats, co-op, because I wasn't really cooking. But back in the day when I was probably like doing things I needed to, it was the monthly shop. Like I wouldn't stupidly shop. Like I'm literally having to think. Okay, I know that I like this. I know that I like this, and I like. Okay, for example, not everyone likes to drink, but I know that Lidl does like a pre-mixed like cocktail or something. So if I was going like if I knew I was going out, or if I knew I'm going to have a specific day where a specific friend was coming over, oh my gosh, let me pick one of these up and add it to my thing.
Yeah.
I remember one day there was like a box of prawns for like 6, 7, 8 pounds. I think it was 8 pounds, like proper full
Yeah.
tail prawns, everything. That's not a usual purchase, but I still bought it.
Start experimenting. That's what I'm saying.
Right,
Like,
you know what I mean? Like pepper prawns, you're making different things, like
Yeah.
Chinese potatoes, like different, you like just trying loads of different things. And I feel like that was something that helped me. Okay, so I know that next time when I go shopping, I'm not going to buy this. I'm going to buy this instead. Like it helps. Smoothies as well are a great way of kind of curbing your appetite, but not in a scary, oh my gosh, I want to be skinny kind of way, but more just like, I'm at uni. I don't necessarily have the time to be cooking all the time. That was something I found really helpful. Like
smoothies. That's a cheat code.
good idea.
I never
Frozen-
thought about
I never
that.
thought about that as well.
frozen fruits and make like frozen fruits, bit of peanut butter and oat milk or coconut milk or whatever.
That's
done. Or if I wanted like a peanut butter, it's like you guys were Five Guys and stuff, like peanut butter shakes and stuff. So peanut butter, oat milk, coconut milk, and then I'm done. You know what I mean?
You know one thing I'd be really interested to like know, is if there was like a study on like how much like nutrients like students are really getting. I feel like that would be super interesting to see because like
Did you guys go home and your parents look at you and be like, oh my gosh, you've lost so much weight?
I gained weight. Like I was actually eating very
Yeah.
well.
I mean, when I was in Kent, not as much. When I came back from Italy, my mum was like, "You look skinny."
So
Yeah.
I had like every time I went home, my mum was like, are you okay?
The thing is, she wasn't capping though. She wasn't. I was when I came back from Italy. I was a skinny.
well, were you just not eating?
I was eating, but I wasn't eating well. Do you get it? Like I'd
enough.
I'd have like a pizza. Literally, people always get at me for this, but
Don't tell me you went and ate oven pizzas in Italy.
No, please don't. say that.
Luqmaan. Oh my god. You were literally in the home. First of all,
Oh my
can I tell you
God,
guys a
I can't
secret?
believe- wait,
you know
wait.
pizzas are Greek. Do you guys know that? Pizzas are Greek. Did you ever know that?
No.
Pizzas are Greek. So the Greeks.
You're gonna upset Italians.
I know,
you
I'm
that.
really sorry. Every Italian watching, I'm so sorry to do
you
this.
just
to you.
started the Romans
But-
versus Greeks
I know,
war.
but
and
no, but
that's
that's
what
where
you
it
done.
came from. Like literally, because of the Romans versus Greeks thing, the Greeks had it. Italians were like, wait. Italians were more like, wait. I can
You
do
wanted
that.
something.
Let me
You're
try
onto
that. Like, they can
something.
do it. Like,
Yeah, everything went in the
Wait,
oven.
can you just confirm? Like,
you
actually
did that?
I did. I was next to Lidl, man.
That's really appalling.
Whoa,
I'm very
that's so
disappointed.
scary.
I
man.
went out to eat once.
I remember that.
I think
it was it like a white wine type of?
It was. I was there. It was like next to the one with, like the one with the main central part next to the cathedral and some or pizza. It was beautiful. That's the one time I went out to eat. I had lasagna. Other than that,
I can't believe what.
You and lasagna.
And you know what's even worse?
What?
I ordered Domino's.
You need to be shot. So sorry. That's really appalling. I can't.
But you know what's
that.
crazy?
So
the Domino's was banging.
Of course, it's in Italy. Like it's a pizza
It was
central.
better, no, but it was like thick as well. I don't like the stone baked thing.
Do you not?
No, I'm not a massive fan of it. That's why I didn't go out to eat pizza a lot in these places.
Don't like the sun-baked pizza.
I think I went out to. I think I had like.
They're quite
Where did I
nice,
have
though.
it? Where did I have
They're
it?
really
I
quite
had
nice.
it with my mate Ed. I think next to San Siro, like the stone baked one of the stone baked ones. It was nice.
It was
But
nice
then
enough.
the Domino's one. It's not even like the Domino's
Really,
here.
This is like sacrilege.
It's not even
like,
that
I
the
can't
Domino's. It
believe
was
you're
just.
saying
I feel
this.
so offended right now. Like.
Well, that's really interesting. That's very interesting that everyone's kind of had very varied and different experiences.
Yeah. I say between us three, like pretty different.
Yeah.
Like pretty different.
Very.
But I'd say that overall, in terms of like speaking on moving in, like I think I say this earlier on, like it's such a weird time. You're in a completely new environment. You're doing new things that you probably like. I've never done laundry until I got to uni, like for example, and it's just like I think those learning experience. I think if people like sort of took it on the stride and just said, "This is like a really cool opportunity for me to learn," as opposed to like,
what do I do?
what do I do? Like I'll start. Like it's okay to be stuck, but you know what I'm saying. I feel like another thing as well is like making friends in uni, especially in first year.
Integral. It's an integral part of uni.
It's so important. But like I think people need to understand as well that everyone's kind of going through the same thing. And I think if you're just open to just like talking to people like, oh, like, I don't know how to do my laundry.
Can you help me?
I promise you people will help.
The thing about uni is I've always like I was watching something and it said it completely wrong. I can't remember what I was watching. But it was like you can be a nerd you can be an outsider in school. But it's really difficult to be an outsider at university.
It is.
Because there's thousands of people. Like you're gonna find somebody who has something in
100%.
common with you. If you just look and try to find someone that has something in common with you.
Or just like find groups like societies and stuff like
Definitely.
that. Like,
just get involved.
Really.
Did you guys go to unis that you knew people at? Like you were going in. See, I didn't.
I knew Justin and that was it.
That's even one better than me. I knew no one. Like I think my mum, she always says this comment. She's like, oh my gosh, I dropped you off and, Coventry University has 33,000 people. I feel like I've dropped you in like you're like a lamb in a sea of wolves. And I was like, okay, relax first of all. Second of all, like, it's
I'm always
okay.
like lamb for other lambs, like.
I feel like that was something that people, like you said, like it's really important to have friends and make friends because I don't think people talk about it enough, but that kind of first moving away, for a lot of people, it's their first time being away from their family, being away from their support system, being away from their friends, being away from really anyone that they know.
Yeah.
And that in itself can be a very lonely experience. I remember like you're in like October, November times. You're there. First of all, the Midlands is cold as hell. Like, it's so cold. Like it's freezing. You don't really know if people are your friends enough where you can be like, guys, let's do this like on a do you know what I mean? Like on a random thing. But you're friendly enough if there's a motive. You're like, guys, let's go. Like, oh my gosh, we can do this, we can do that. So you're trying to it's kind of lonely when you're in that transition period.
I think you've just gotta
keep on.
And if you need support, find someone to talk to. There's always people, especially in university, there's always people you can talk to.
Defo.
And like for me especially in Kent, I would say less so because Justin was there, but especially in Italy, it got to a point where I just felt alone. I just felt like there was like everybody that went to Queen Mary was in South Milan. I was by myself. I didn't live near anybody at all. But then you just need to talk to someone. I could talk to someone, one of the people the support people from Queen Mary. I could talk to my friends at home. Like while I was in Milan, me and my friends started Football Manager League online while I was there. My friends in the UK, so there is someone you can always talk to, and you can always reach out to talk to somebody anytime you're feeling lonely. Because I know loneliness, like especially for me, I don't know how it is with most people, but for me, loneliness is terrifying.
It's a horrible feeling.
Being alone is my biggest fear. So like, I understand how tough it can get being lonely, but all you need to do is just find a way to talk to someone, speak to someone.
I think if you find
your emotions out.
Definitely, but I think it's a thing where if you find your people, like you said, there's so many people you need. There are so many. You're bound to find at least one person. Yeah. Like I know for a fact that there are 2 or 3 or 4 people I can definitely say, you know what, these were when I was at uni first year, this person was my person for first year. Second year, that kind of broadened a little bit. These people were my people. Third year, these people were my people, like, because things were getting tougher, time to buckle down. If you're not talking for like 2 weeks, hey, are you alive? Message, is everything okay? Have you eaten? Cool. If you need anything, call me. Like, I remember disso time, tears, literal tears. I can't do this anymore. I'm so tired. You know when you're like, you're literally sleeping for 4 hours, waking up to write, sleeping for 2 hours, waking up for a nap, like waking up to get up. I can never drink iced coffee again. Like I can't, because I drank it so much, like literally 2 a.m. cracking.
How bad dissertations are. I didn't do
one. It was tough. Like it was tough. It was fun.
I would do it again.
I would do it again, but it was tough. I was struggling. It was tough.
Yeah.
I had a friend who was like, Becca, when you're done, come over. I've made food. I'll cook for you. Do you know what I mean? Like I remember one time first year, I fainted in the shower. Right,
that's not the place to be fainting.
Right, so really random. I managed to like land okay, but fainted in the shower. Called my friend. I was like, I've just fainted in the shower. He's like, oh my god, I'm not home. But you know what? Go to our other mutual friend. I've told him, look, just go. He'll sort you out. Went. He's like, Becca, I made you care package. Here's some fried rice. Here's some chicken. It's here. Like, it's cool. Like, are you okay? Do you need anything? So there are always people. There are always people there when you feel like there's not. That's what you know what, when you feel like there's not people, that's when they actually show up. It's such a weird way of saying it, but when you think, oh my gosh, I'm alone, people should just randomly show up and be like, oh, is everything okay? Do you need anything? You know, and I think if you go to uni with the mentality of I'm looking for that, but I'm also going to ensure that I am that person for other people, then perhaps we'll, like, the next set of people who go to uni, there will be kind of less of that lonely feeling. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So to wrap it up, obviously, I'd say we just talk about what we feel like should be the main takeaways from the pod, and what we feel like moving forward, what our message to people as a group as EduFirst. So I think the first thing that I would say to people is, like we just said, reach out to people and find your people, essentially. Find the people for you, because the people for you are there. You just have to look for them.
For sure.
I think the second thing I'd say that people should do is, if we didn't really talk about a lot, is remember you're at university for university.
Ooh, okay.
Remember you're there for education.
Please remember that you're there for that.
You are there for the education. So even if you get encompassed in all the social life and all the different activities you can do,
your lectures.
Don't forget that
hand in your assignments.
And the third piece of advice that I would give is just get involved in everything you can. University is an experience, and people say it's the best years of your life. I don't know if that's true or not, but some people, I don't know who said it either, but someone said,
right, who said that?
But someone said it's the best years of your life. So just make sure to enjoy it as much as you can.
Are we going to say it again, or was that the end? Or?
Does anyone else have any other pieces of advice to give?
If I could just give one piece of advice, it would just be like, be yourself, be open to like knowing other people. You know, it is difficult, you know, moving away from home, you know, like you said, like being away from your support system. But just know that, you know, it's not just you that's going through that. There's probably the person next door to you probably go through the same thing, you know. Pop by, have a chat. I feel like uni is just such a perfect place to be sort of like just meeting new people, getting new ideas. And I feel like especially like people from London, I feel like it's super important. Like if you can, or if you want to, like please, like move out of the ends. Basically, like go experience, you know, other places. I went to Loughborough. Like you were saying earlier on, like it's basically a village.
Live the village life.
I lived the village life for real. I lived it. Yeah, try it out. Like you never know what you might like. I know people that went to university in Nottingham and they liked it so much that they ended up like staying there to live there.
Yeah, a lot of people do that actually. They leave uni and they live there. They go back to the uni city to live. I would definitely go back to
Would you live in Coventry?
I would live in Coventry,
Kent
but
is
I
not
would,
for me.
but I wouldn't live in the uni side because I think people forget like you outside of like where you go to uni, there's like 64 other postcodes. Do you know what I mean? So I would definitely move into like, I don't know, like CV8, 9, like away from CV1 where the uni is.
Well,
so
the kids are
right. So I think I would say, please don't take yourself too seriously. You're gonna go to
100.
uni. You're gonna be learning so much about yourself, about the real world, about other people. So don't take yourself too seriously, but also remember that you are the only person that's responsible for you, because your family aren't there. You're making new friends, you know. Unfortunately, and both fortunately, because you have to learn these things, the responsibility does fall on you. Please don't forget, you know, don't forget to eat properly. Don't forget to, you know, create some sort of sleep schedule. Of course, you're going to want to party, but also remember that you need to study. You're paying £9,250 a year. Great. Your debt when you leave that university is astronomical. So make sure that you're coming out there with something sensible. You know what I mean? So please attend your lectures. You know, make sure that just make sure that you're putting yourself in the best position for yourself.
For sure.
But I think that wraps up today's episode. And I'd like to thank you both for being such wonderful guests today.
Thank you.
And to all our listeners, we will see you on the next podcast. Thank you. Bye.
Love.